soldiers.
Let
We
Ben
don't owe them
respond,
anything.
Don't talk over each other.
Us. Give me the 300 billion back.
Let
Give me
Ben,
the 300
let
billion
Ben
back.
respond.
You owe us. I don't owe you. And Ben, you're supposed to be an American, not an Israeli. Look at me and Jack. Me and Jack don't agree on anything else. But we agree that we should serve America. I say Americans first, not Israelis. Stop the war.
In this video, Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks joins the panel on Piers Morgan Uncensored. Cenk Uygur and the panel discuss the possibility of the U.S. going to war. With that, let's watch Cenk Uygur and the panel get heated right out of the gate.
To stay alive. How about all the civilians that are murdering?
Why are you avoiding criticizing?
So when I see you guys,
yeah, but Cenk, why are you criticizing?
No, I'm not avoiding it at all.
But Cenk,
I'm not avoiding it at all.
But
Let me
Cenk,
explain.
why are you?
Let me explain. Okay.
Why are you ducking saying criticism of Iran?
It's a simple question.
I'm not ducking it at all. You ready?
Yeah.
You ready? It's simple. I don't like the Iranian regime at all. Okay. I'm an atheist now. They would kill me first. I got no interest in the Iranian regime, but the Israeli regime would also murder me. So I want you guys to be fair and balanced. So don't tell me that the Iranian regime is super dangerous to its neighbors while Israel actually attacks all of its neighbors, including Iran. So tell me about how dangerous the Israeli terrorist regime is as it attacks civilians again and again and again, except that you say, well, Muslim lives don't really matter. That's why you guys don't count the Muslim civilians that Israel murders on a regular basis. So look, if we think the Iranian regime is bad, and it is, it's just like Saddam's regime was bad. Hold on, Ben, let me finish. Let me finish. So the North Korean regime is terrible. The Chinese regime runs concentration camps for Uyghur Turks. Those Turks are my people. The Russians invaded Ukraine. These are all terrible regimes. That doesn't mean we have to start a war with them.
Ben respond.
And it doesn't mean that America has to fight Israel's war for it.
Well, America isn't fighting it at the moment.
We're not fighting
at the moment, America
fight your own wars.
But America is not
$1, not one troop.
America is not involved in this war at the moment. Ben Ferguson.
Yeah, it's amazing he just said that Israel would kill him. I asked him 7, 8 times.
That's not true.
What would they murder you for? What would they murder you for? And I said over and over again, you said that Israel would murder you.
They murder journalists more than any other country.
So
they
you're telling
murdered
me right
more
now,
journalists than World War I, World War II, Vietnam, and Afghanistan combined.
Let me be clear.
They murdered more journalists than all other conflicts in the world combined. They murder Muslim Americans, 12 of them. And America does not defend American citizens in the occupied territories.
All right, Cenk, let him speak.
Murders Americans all the time, and America never defends us.
This is the problem. When you say things that are this egregious, everyone watching around the world is going to look at this and say, this guy is an idiot because you didn't answer the question. You said that Israel would murder you right now.
ChatGPT, look it up. Israel has murdered more journalists than all other conflicts in the world combined.
I'm asking you personally. You said they would murder you now. I'm not going to let up on this. What would they murder you for? You're telling me right now that you think Israel wants to find you and kill you right now where you are?
No. If I go to Israel, you said go to Israel. If I go to Israel, Israel would almost certainly murder. IDF already wrote my name on a bomb. It's not like they're hiding it. And they murder journalists more than any other country. In fact,
Is it just me, or does it feel like Cenk thinks that Israel cares about him a lot more than they assuredly do? He says they wrote his name on a bomb. I don't know what that's about. I can't read Cenk's mind, but I would imagine he loved that because it allows him to give some stupid anecdotal talking point to make his broader point that if he goes to Israel, they're going to murder him. This isn't even defensive of Israel or any side. This is just about Cenk. I think he thinks he's way more important than he is. And hey, if I was in that position, then I had the ability to work it into a conversation. Maybe I'm no better. Maybe I'd do the same thing. I don't think so, but I think that's a silly statement when there are plenty of criticisms of Israel. But to say that they'll just kill everyone, that if you went there specifically, Cenk, they're going to kill you. Your arguments are rarely solid, but this one is especially weak. Let's get back to it.
All the other countries combined, that's a literal fact. And they murder Muslim Americans, 12 of them, And they didn't object under Biden. We don't object under Trump because you can murder American citizens only if you're Israel.
That Israel was
the
attacked.
terrorist state of Israel is allowed to kill Americans. And what do we have to do? We have to give them another $311 billion. We have to start another war for them like Iraq and spend $2 trillion. Why do the American people owe Israel hundreds of billions of dollars? Why do we owe them more wars?
All right, let Ben respond.
Dead American soldiers.
Let
We
Ben
don't owe
respond,
them
Cenk.
anything.
Don't talk over each other.
Us. Give me the $300 billion back.
Let
Give me the $300 billion
Ben
back.
respond.
You owe us. I don't owe you. And Ben, you're supposed to be an American, not an Israeli. Look at me and Jack. Me and Jack don't agree on anything else. But we agree that we should serve America. I say Americans first, not Israelis. Stop the wars.
Let me say this.
Look at MAGA.
Okay, here's what
Let Ben speak, Cenk.
Number one.
Steve Bannon, all
Cenk,
states
time out.
stop the war.
All
We didn't
right.
ask for war.
Ben, let him-
Here's the
let
left
Ben
and the right
speak.
uniting, saying we don't want war.
Cenk, let
I'm gonna
Ben speak.
respond. Number one, my foreign policy has changed drastically from after 9/11. I don't think we should go into Iraq. Afghanistan, if I could have a redo, I would change what I thought about that. I've said that very clearly for years now on TV. But no, I said I've changed my foreign policy. When you make mistakes and you see what happens, it's okay to change. It's called growing up. All right. You learn from your mistakes. I'm not in favor of invading America into Iran. So let me say that first. So you put words in my mouth. Second thing, I've seen 2 hostage videos today. One from the guy that's in Iran right now and you. And I don't know why you act like there's a country that is running terrorism in the Middle East, Iran, who's chanting death to Israel. By the way, death to America. They chant death to America too, okay? And why you act like they're not a threat to the Middle East and to American interests over there. That's why Donald Trump said yesterday.
Jack,
that's
do you
why
think
Donald
they're a
Trump said
threat to
yesterday,
us?
if you come after, yes, I do. I do think Iran's a threat just because they helped kill American soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan. They trained the damn terrorists.
No, I
that
asked
killed
Jack. I
people
asked
that
an
I know
American.
personally. I know people that died serving their country in Iraq and Afghanistan. I just went to Fort Bragg and went to where the 82nd.
Yeah, because you sent them to die on behalf of Israel.
On a plaque. I'm not screwing around with this. Do not tell me that Iran
them to
did
die
not help
on
kill
behalf
Americans.
of Israel. Ben, I had these debates with you on the Iraq War. I had these debates with you on the Iraq War. You were 100% wrong then.
If you like watching videos like this one, like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video. I gotta say,
you're 100% wrong now. You sent American kids to
You
die
just said
there on
Iran
behalf
is
of
not a
Israel
threat to
then,
the United States
and you
of
want to
America.
send
You're
American kids
insane
to
if
die
you
on
think
behalf of
that's true.
Israel.
Let me bring
Now,
in. All right.
Jack, I disagree
Let me
with
bring
you
in
on
Jack,
everything
please.
else, but
Let me
as
bring
an
in Jack.
American,
Jack.
speak up here.
Let me bring in Jack. Jack, final word to you.
Well, certainly they're a threat, but in the sense that they're a threat because the United States is currently sending the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier from the Asia Pacific, from Westpac, over to the Middle East. So, by the way, this is the first time that China now has more aircraft carriers in the Pacific than the United States. The first time that's ever happened. Now you're going to have those 5,000 sailors on that aircraft carrier, plus the other 5,000 that are on the Carl Vinson, potentially sitting within range of everything that Iran has. This is exactly what I've been talking about. So the threat to American lives is, and I think it's right there. I think it's what you're saying. It's because America is getting involved in a war that's not ours.
Can I ask a question of Jack and Cenk, just quickly? You say it's a war that isn't yours. If you were convinced, let me ask you a hypothetical, that Iran was close to getting
you guys always do these hypotheticals.
If Iran was close to getting a nuclear weapon,
what is?
As the UN inspectors say, let me ask you a direct question.
Even though Cenk's crazy, it's bananas that now we've got the progressive left screaming America first. And I haven't heard Ben advocate for intervening. However, he seems to be leaning towards it more than most Republicans and most Americans. But it's just funny that Cenk now adopts America first when it's politically expedient for his silly commentary. And I can't say for sure, but I would imagine you can find plenty of Cenk Uygur meltdowns over America first and how stupid it is. And now he's echoing that sentiment. And you can see when Ben was so passionately talking about Iran training troops and the other conflicts that we've been involved in and knowing people that died in those conflicts, whether you agree with him or not, whether I agree with him or not, I personally can understand his perspective better viewing it through that lens of having lost brothers in these conflicts where Iran did play a role in supporting essentially the death of your friends. Anyway, let's wrap it up.
You then think if America was the only country that had the capability to degrade and destroy Iran's nuclear capacity, would it then be in American interest to intervene?
So should America go around and
in
blow
North
up all the
Korea,
nuclear sites that aren't American? Should we attack China? Should we attack Russia? Should we attack France? Should we attack the UK? All of them? Is that your contention?
So you
Israel-
would, should
Should we attack
okay,
Israel?
so
They have
it's a
nukes.
consistent position. You would permit, you think it's in America's interests.
No, you
to-
asked me
to-
hypothetical.
to
No, now, see,
permit
now you're
Iran
playing
to
this
get a
game.
nuke.
You're trying to Kafka trap me right now.
No, we
You're
didn't
trying
say
to
that.
Kafka trap me, and you're trying to say, well, if you agreed to this hypothetical that I asked you, then you must also. No, I'm not playing that game. I'm not playing that game right now. You're saying in a hypothetical situation, should America attack someone? To your point, they do not have weaponized nuclear capability or uranium that is at the point of weaponization at 90%, which they could use for an atomic bomb. They do not have that. They have 60%. So you're saying even if they had 90%, which by the way doesn't sit with the DNI Gabbard's assessment and the entire assessment of the intelligence agencies that Iran is not.
But we want to hear from you. What did you think about this Piers Morgan Uncensored panel discussion between Cenk Uygur and Ben Ferguson? Let us know in the comments. Anyway, as always, really appreciate you watching, and we will see you on the next one.